And what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pro Wrestling Society. Today, I'm just going to be talking to you about Lucha Underground and this perception that anybody can be a wrestler and the lack of creativity in hardcore wrestling. So, here we go. Um, Honestly, this episode, like the others, sucked. And here's why. Okay, so they had the senseless god, gift of the gods match. You know, it was terrible because a lot of people, a lot of wrestlers weren't there. Like, you know how others of the past, it was hype. It was all the good wrestlers were there, and now and not to say that there's a any bad wrestlers, because there obviously wasn't, but um, I just didn't care for it felt like something was missing. It's like, yeah, Mil Martins was there and all the others, but something was missing, and I had a problem with that, especially since um you know the match was rushed, and who ended up winning? The Mac, of all people. Uh, that he sucks. He shouldn't even be in Lucha Underground, but for some reason they got him competing, and then he eliminates one of the best wrestlers of the whole TV show, Mil Muertes. Like, it makes no sense. It just baffles my mind how Lucha Underground could come to this. Why are you going to eliminate your best man in the whole show? Max sucks. He sucks. He sucks. I can't stress that enough. Like, um, it's just ridiculous. It's like, stupid. It was stupid. It was just like, what? This made no sense whatsoever. It's like they might as well just not have done this at all. Just forget about the gift of gods. Do something else. Because if that's if that is what it's going to come down to, then I don't want to see it. I don't want to see, like, oh my goodness, like, you're gonna eliminate all the good wrestlers in that short amount of time, and then you're just gonna say, who aren't even as good as Mil Muertes. Like, no offense, but like, some of them are, but dang, And second thing I didn't like was was how Katrina and Mil Muertes, the storyline, it just went to, it was just crap, because I was expecting Katrina to betray Mil Muertes, and now she's back together with him, so it makes no sense, you know. It's like, how long is this going to be going on for? Like, what, a week, 2 weeks? How long does it take before we see something happen between them? I want to see some drama. Like, um I don't want to see them, be together till the end. Like you gave us a hint that they were gonna, you know, something was gonna happen, and it's not happening. It's like nothing's going on Lucha Underground, nothing worthwhile. And then another thing was, I was glad Cobra Moon came back, but then again they have her on the sidelines, refereeing. Um, what was it? Vibra? I don't care anymore. All those people against the Worldwide Underground, and it's 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 just boring. Honestly, I want to see Cobra Moon actually wrestle in a tag team. If if they had that, then I'd be good with it. If they had a Cobra Moon and and her tribe go against another tag team, then that'd be more exciting. But it's like, come on, like this is ridiculous. Like I want to see her wrestle. I don't want to see her do this stuff. Just it's already been done for too long, and it's time for something else. And like Pentagon versus Cage, that was boring. It just sucked. I was expecting it to be exciting, but it wasn't. It felt rushed. It just moves on each other. When Cage ties him to the railing, ties his bandana to the railing, I was expecting him to like slam him or something. Just charge into him, just slam him. Nope, that didn't happen. He just kept beating him up, and then took a chair and then hit him, and that's just bullcrap. It's like why is Cage using his lucha libre on Pentagon? Like why is he not using the stuff that he always does? Slamming the power moves, powerhouse moves. Doesn't make sense. And like always, Pentagon tries to break his arm, and it doesn't work for some reason, some coincidence. It just doesn't work, and then the wrestler gets out of the ring and just leaves. So that's stupid. I hate it when that happens. It's like break someone's arm for once. I'm just tired of seeing him break these unimportant people's arms, like what's his name? Famous B. People who don't matter. It sucks. There goes my rant. It was trash. I hope they do better. There's like 1% chance that they're gonna do better. It's been it's been bad. So it's my thoughts on it. And seems like it just gotten smaller, honestly. That's enough of that. Now I'm gonna get into another rant, because I feel like ranting today. Lack of creativity in hardcore wrestling. This is why hardcore wrestling sucks now. There's no creativity. And what I mean by that, I mean with weapons, I mean with moves and stuff like that. All it is now is just two guys taking weapons and bashing each other in the head repeatedly with it, until one guy gets the pin, and that's the end of it. That's terrible. There's no selling. There's no no drama. No scripted. No scripted. Choreography. Nothing amazing about it. I was watching this match between Pentagon Jr. Actually, Penta El Cerro Miet, M0, something like that, against Violento Jack or something. I think that's his name, and that's all it was. And it wasn't that exciting. It was kind of, I had mixed feelings about it, but hardcore wrestling sucks now because they don't know how to be creative anymore. And that's why people think that it's garbage wrestling, because they're getting the bad wrestlers, not the good ones. In my opinion, every hardcore match should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And most matches nowadays don't have that. It's just all over the place. It's random. It doesn't make sense, and I hate it. Like, like, okay, so for example, they should use weapons. Um, at first, just start small, and then work their way up to like the first stunt. Maybe they'll drive someone through a table. Maybe they'll try to choke somebody out with a chain, something, and then move their way up to like a bigger stunt. When that doesn't work and that doesn't put their opponent out, where they do something even worse to their opponent. One or the other. And I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. Maybe they, I don't know, pile drive somebody through the apron or something, and then it goes to the grand finale where um, they set up a table and put glass tubes on it and stuff, and then just slam somebody through it, and then they get the pin. That's way more exciting than a lot of these hardcore matches. That's how that's how the best matches work. Wrestlers, the real hardcore wrestlers, the ones who are actually skilled, know how to use weapons. They know how to with creativity, they know how to use it. They know how to come up with these ingenious schemes to put their opponents out. Like I remember this one time, New Jack put he grabbed Necro Butcher, put his face. I think he put his. Can't remember exactly what happened, but he put a chair, and he put a bunch of glass tubes under his face, or over his face rather, over his head, and 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 then he took like a barbed wire chair, went to the top ropes, and just flew and just slammed the chair onto his head, and just there's blood everywhere. It was crazy. That was like, ooh, that was savage. And then he got the pin, and it was done. That's creativity right there. And unfortunately, hardcore wrestlers, they just don't get it now. And that's why it sucks. Unfortunately, it's not just about bashing people with stuff. It's about creativity. It's about causing the most damage and making it look realistic. You know. So now I'm going to the other topic I was gonna do about. This is what pisses me off. This mindset that anybody can be a wrestler. Now I used to agree with it until I realized how dumb it was. Because don't get me wrong, there are exceptions to every rule. Anybody can be a wrestler, that's correct, but only a select few can do it well. And the standards have dropped so low, you wouldn't even believe. Okay, before, early on in pro wrestling, the standards were just unbelievably high. People were athletic, people studied wrestling, it was professional. It was still a sport, and it was just phenomenal. Look at all the legends of the past, and you'll see what I'm talking about. These guys were just phenomenal athletes. And now it's just sports entertainment. You know, the standards have dropped. Before, only big men could compete. Only, you know, like, it was just crazy. Like, matches were like an hour long. They did all these moves, real submission moves and stuff like that, real blows and stuff like that. Um, it was sometimes it was fast and whatnot, and did all kinds of crazy stuff. Now it's gotten to a point where with the sports entertainment era, it's like, okay, you know, sports is not selling, but um, so we're gonna lower it a little bit. We're gonna shorten the matches. We're not gonna make them epic anymore. We're just gonna make them like 10-minute matches, 20-minute matches, or we're just gonna lower the standards, like, so we can get more people in. And it's like, okay, you know, fine. You know, you get people, and then they start welcoming um, people with different body types and whatnot, skinny people, um, fat people, whatnot. So it's like, okay, um, okay, that's cool, but it still looks professional. You know, it's still there's still there was still a certain amount of skill involved. You know, there's um, bashing. You know, not bashing. It still looked like a sport. You know, there's real submissions, real moves, actual wrestling. They kept it professional. They maintained character and did all this stuff. And now it's gone to hell. It's gone and it's just turned into complete garbage. Like like uh like the guy in one of my podcasts, he's talked about how things have just swooped so low where a promoter will take a fan and just say, okay, here you go. You know, here's your match, wrestle, get in the ring, and do all this crap. And it's like, where have the standards gone? You know, what happened? Like, what has happened to professional wrestling? It's like, it's not. I don't even know if I can call it that anymore because it's like, you turn on the WWE crap, and all we got are just entertainers, and it's embarrassing. You know, it's like we don't even have wrestlers anymore. We just have entertainers who do these flippy floppy sequences and these garbage moves that don't mean anything at all. And and it's like it's just aggravating. And they look more like celebrities now, because you look at the women, you'll see them in these swimsuit models and stuff like that, and the men, you got these reality TV shows and whatnot, and all this other crap. Social media, is blowing up with all this crap, and it's become embarrassing. It's become crap. You know, like, now we got too many fat people or skinny people that don't work out, and they're the ones going to the ring. And it's like, I could understand if they had something to offer, but they don't. And that's why wrestling is in a hellhole, because of people like them. The standards have just dropped so low, where it's like people are saying, originally they were like, um, it's okay, do your best originally, and then it's like, okay, maybe we need to drop the standards. And now the standards are just so low, where it's like they'd be like, okay, it's, you know what, you don't need to wrestle, You don't need to work out. You know, you don't need to sell anymore. You don't need to do all this stuff. All you do, just do some moves, you know, if anything, and then they'll go call yourself a professional wrestler. It's like, that's bull crap, you know. That's bull crap. That's not professional wrestling the way it's supposed to be. You know, it's like, it's just it. That's why people say it's fake. That's why it gets the bad rep that it does, because people, mo these so-called wrestlers are making it look bad. It's ridiculous. You know, it's become worse than a circus act, because at least a circus act is a little bit more professional, a little bit more, um, a little bit more organized. You know, talented, entertaining than the stuff they do. You know, I've went to the circus before twice, and it was way more entertaining than what you see on WWE nowadays. Way more entertaining. You know, they're better at convincing me that that's real than WWE nowadays, because that's how much it sucks. You know, so I'm tired of all this garbage wrestling out there. You know, I want to see some actual legit wrestling that doesn't, you know, that has actual skill, actual talent. You know, stuff like the good old days. Uh, there goes my rant. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, donate, and I'll see you next week.